Hello and welcome into tonight's CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I'm your host, Nick Qualia, sitting here with Mike Molyneux and with Marv Azan. So 20 years ago, we record Monday, January 27th. So January 27th, 2020 marks the 20th anniversary of the trade that brought Bill Belichick from the New York Jets to the New England Patriots. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people don't even realize that it was a trade, especially a lot of casual fans don't realize it was a trade because everybody knows the story about the napkin, I resign. I think it was like I resign as the New York Jets HC or NYJHC, whatever it was. A lot of people know that story, but a lot of casual fans I don't think know that Bill Parcells, who's the GM of the Jets at the time, was like, no, you're under contract. You can't just do that. So there's got to be a little deal that takes place. So in order to get Bill Belichick over to the Patriots, Robert Kraft in the Patriots had sent over. This is after they actually fired Pete Carroll too. Something else, there were a lot of Patriots fans who started becoming fans, I'd say mid 2000 when the Patriots started this dynasty, when they were really rolling through this dynasty. They fired Pete Carroll that offseason. They wanted to bring in Bill Belichick. So to make that happen, the Patriots traded their first round pick in 2000. And in return, they did receive the 5th round pick in 2001 from the Jets and the 7th round pick in 2002 also from the Jets. And that's what they had to give up. They had to give up their first round pick in 2000 in order to bring Bill Belichick over to the New England Patriots. So guys, looking at that deal, looking where we are now 20 years later, is it fair to call that trade the greatest trade in, I'm not going to say NFL history, I'm going to say in American sports history, NHL, MLB, NBA, NFL. Is this the greatest trade in American sports history? Marv, let's start with you.
Nick, I'm glad you said American sports history because that's exactly what it is. Take NFL out off the books. What trade gives you pretty much 20 years of dominance? We're talking 17 AFC East titles in your division right there. The only coach with 6 Super Bowl rings. I mean, Bill Belichick changed the whole Patriots foundation, obviously with the help of the greatest quarterback of all time,
Yep.
Tom Brady. So you can't bring up Bill Belichick's legacy without Tom Brady and vice versa. But yes, it is the greatest trade of all time due to the longevity of dominance. You can't do it with players because unfortunately players just are not able to play for 20 plus years and dominate. But Bill Belichick as a coach, he can do that, and he's had a lot of turnover. Yes, Tom Brady's been his singular quarterback for 19 of the years, but outside of that, he's had different running backs, different corners, different coaches in
And
his
not a
staff.
lot of the most talented guys either. The Bill
Exactly.
Belichick way.
And yes, exactly. When you think about Bill Belichick, you're going to think about how he can get, those blue collar guys and really fit them into this system and have them become, star players when need be. And then when they leave, whether it's coaches, whether it's players, when they leave that organization, they don't sustain that success as when they were with the Patriots organization. That's the Bill Belichick mystique, the success, and just how he carries himself with New England. That's what we're all going to remember Bill Belichick as. And if you remember in 2000 when that trade happened, it wasn't
I
like
don't. I
New
was
England,
very young.
but it wasn't as if New England was super excited, right? It's not like, oh my God, we got this great Bill Belichick. It came
It
with
wasn't it
mixed
wasn't a big
reviews.
name.
Right. It was just, okay, this is a guy who's gonna come in and hopefully try to, switch up the system, pair him up with Drew Bledsoe, and let's see what happens. Now looking back at it, my goodness, how big of a trade this really was and how it changed the shape of the NFL forever.
Yeah, and you don't even have to go far for the talent aspect. So just look at the team now over the past 10 years. Edelman and Brady. There aren't a lot of coaches who would have looked at both these guys and turned them into the superstars that they are. And their work ethic, obviously, I mean, that has something to do with it. But you don't have to look far to look at what Bill's been able to do with talent that not everybody saw. I mean, obviously, we know the Tom Brady story, but Julian Edelman, too. When Edelman came in, I mean, nobody knew that Edelman was going to turn into this superstar receiver that he has been. So that's just something that Bill Belichick's been able to do his entire career. It's been wild. It's been a wild ride to watch. Mike, before we jump over to you guys, the CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable is brought to you by Car Shield. A little different this week. America's #1 auto protection provider. Call 800-CAR-6000. That is 800-CAR-6000. And mention the code GARDEN, or visit carshield.com and use code GARDEN to save 10% on all of your auto repairs. That's carshield.com. Code GARDEN. Again, the phone number to use, guys, 800-CAR-6000. Instead of going online, you can do that. 800-CAR-6000. Use promo code GARDEN. Again, 800-CAR-6000. All right, Mike, greatest trade of all time, American sports history. Yes or no?
Absolutely. I mean, Bill Belichick, similar to what you guys just said, at the time, no one really thought about, oh boy, the Patriots getting Bill Belichick. Oh, what a steal. Like, no one was really thinking like that. Again, it was just a hope and belief for Patriots fans that, all right, they're bringing in this new head coach. Obviously didn't work out with Pete Carroll, the way they wanted it to, but they're bringing in this new coach. Let's see what he can do to kind of push this franchise in a direction that could hopefully lead to success. And, it led to success, led to some big time success for the Patriots indeed over the next 20 years. And I mean, when you think about trades being made, obviously a team, a franchise, you make a trade for the most part to help your team out in a sense. Obviously, it's usually players that move and get traded, but you're trading for somebody that can help elevate your franchise. In this instance, and sometimes that's happened in different sports, trades and moves are made for coaches, to bring it back to Boston again. You saw the move that was made, kind of sending Doc Rivers to the Clippers for the Celtics. You want to make a move that's going to help elevate your franchise. Patriots made this move, and like I said, it elevated this franchise to success that people didn't even imagine. You're talking about 6 Super Bowl wins, a quarterback who is now known as the greatest of all time. What Belichick has been able to do for this Patriots organization since he's been the head coach, again, I don't think anybody would have truly imagined that that's what would have taken place bringing him along. So, yeah, if you had to list the top trades to be done in the sports world, it's tough to really think of some, but obviously Belichick to the Patriots is somewhere at the top of that list for sure.
It's number one. And, it's the word that I keep thinking about when I was trying to put together my notes was altered. Because even just looking back at the Patriots organization before Kraft took over, guys, this organization right before Robert Kraft took over again was on the verge of being moved to St. Louis. This wasn't an organization that was having success. This was a franchise that was getting ready to be moved out of Massachusetts. And if that happened, we might not even have a team here right now. Who knows if they would have brought it back by now, but good chance we don't have a team here in New England right now. And Bill Belichick coming to the Patriots completely altered things. It altered the landscape of the NFL. It turned a down in the dumps, crap joke of a franchise. People got to remember, the Patriots were the Cleveland Browns before the Cleveland Browns were the Cleveland Browns. They were not a good organization. Bill Belichick altered the landscape of the NFL with this team and turned into a 10-year dynasty. That's crazy. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
We're still going with this dynasty. Like Marv, like you said.
Come on, Marv.
We're on the tail end.
Don't do it, Marv.
We're on the tail end.
I sneezed, Mike. I sneezed.
We're still going. But Marv, like you said, like we remember the trade. And I said I was young. I'm 25 now. I was 5 years old when that trade happened. 5. That is crazy to think about. It completely altered the way that the NFL looked at. Not even just, I'm not saying, looked at's not the right word. Just the New England Patriots dominated almost from the jump when Bill Belichick took over. And when you look at the franchise and you look at words that you constantly hear with Belichick, with Brady, the Patriot way. If you have a franchise that has a slogan modeled after the way that you guys run business, that shows how influential you are in the NFL, in the organization, in the National Football League. This team, again, was on the verge of moving, and they flipped it. And Robert Kraft, huge part of that, massive part, majority part. But They took a crap organization, flipped it, and turned it into the greatest, one of the top 2 greatest franchises in sports history, in American sports history. It's not good. The only trade that would come close is what really kicked off the other greatest franchise in sports history, which is the New York Yankees.
Yankees, yeah, Babe Ruth.
The Red Sox selling Babe Ruth for $100,000, which is laugh out loud funny. But there are also trades. I just wrote some other deals that, I mean, altered their respective leagues. 1980 Celtics dealing for Robert Parrish from Golden State, landing them the third pick in the draft. They get Kevin McHale too. John Elway saying, I'm not going to go to Baltimore. So then he ends up with Denver because Baltimore traded that pick to Denver, the draft pick rights. And then, I mean, even still sticking with the Boston thought process, Montreal trading Pedro Martinez to the Boston Red Sox. Reluctantly. Pedro didn't want to come here. Pedro did not want to come to the Boston Red Sox.
Go to the Yankees.
Yeah, he was in his book. I highly recommend his book. He said specifically, the Red Sox were like, I think one of 3 teams that he was like, you cannot trade me to this team. So, I mean, there are other huge game-altering, league-altering trades that have happened, but none like the Belichick one.
Yeah,
and I actually
Nick,
looked up a list. This wasn't even listed on there.
Nick, there's a couple too. You got to think of Scottie Pippen getting traded in his draft rights to the Bulls. That changes everything for Chicago Bulls with Jordan. Yeah. And then you got to talk about the late great Kobe Bryant. You know, from getting traded from Charlotte to the.
That's one's huge too.
With Shaquille O'Neal and them, and they go for 6.
I thought we lost Marv for a sec.
Wait, I got lost?
No, you're still here.
Yeah, but you're back. You're good.
You're still here. You're fine. No, I mean, I don't think you can look at another trade and think that there's like this altered. I can't keep. The word just keeps coming back in my head. It altered the NFL. It altered an entire league by having Bill Belichick switch over and become the head coach of the New England Patriots. He probably would have had success with the New York Jets too, but he took a franchise and turned them into one of the top franchises in American sports history.